Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. About 2 weeks ago, I filmed a furry friend tag with this little nugget right back here. And so this week I wanted to follow up and do a second furry friend tag about my second rabbit. Unfortunately, she's not as outgoing as he is, and she's actually sleeping right now. You can't see her, but I'm gonna answer the same questions that I answered for him for her, and so let's just jump into it. First question, of course, is what is your pet's name? And her name is Moo. She's black and white. She looks like a cow. Moo. There you go. Second question, which totally ties into what I just said, is how did you come up with the name, and does it have any specific significance? No, it doesn't. She looks like a cow. She's black and white. When we adopted her, her name was Pepper Nugget, and we just felt it didn't fit, and we just naturally started calling her Moo, and it stuck, so that's her name. The third question is, how old is your pet? And when we adopted her, they told us that she was 5.5 years old, and we've had her for about 4 months now, so she is almost 6 years old. So she's getting up there. She's our little grandma. But yeah, she is 5.9 years old. Next question, number 5, is what breed is your pet? And she is a French Angora rabbit. Number 6, how did you get your pet? And we adopted Moo, as I will have all my future rabbits be adopted. We got her from a place about 30 minutes from us in Paramount, California, called Rabbit Rescue. And we actually went to Rabbit Rescue looking for a mate for this fine gentleman back here. And so we weren't sure who we were gonna come home with. So what you do is you take your rabbit to the rescue, and then all the rabbits are in a giant play yard, and you get to go and pick about 5 or so selects, and then they take them in one by one to meet your rabbit and see who they most bond with, who they get along with the best. Because rabbit relationships are very tricky and difficult, so they want to start off on the best foot. And MooMoo was actually the furthest in the yard. She was all by herself. Everyone else was running around and playing, and MooMoo was sitting in the back farthest corner of the play yard, just sitting by herself. And she actually let me pet her immediately. She wasn't scared. She was my first pick. I saw her and I was like, okay, like, she let me pet her. She's like real chill. I think she might be the one. But of course we had to pick out 4 other rabbits, which I did. And then they brought them in one by one, and MooMoo ended up working out the best. They spent 2 weeks bonding. And then they were brought home to me in a neutral space, and they got along great. Yeah, so that's how I got Moo. I went to a rabbit rescue, and actually, Chewy Bear is the one that picked her out, and I'm very happy with his selection. Next up is number 7. What is your pet's favorite food? And Moo's favorite food is, without a doubt, kale. And it's kind of funny because I would feed them equal amounts of the veggies, kale, cilantro, lettuces, whatever. And he would leave behind kale because it's not his favorite, and she would leave behind cilantro because that's not her favorite, and then they would end up swapping places and finishing each other's meals. So now I've like balanced it out where I give them like enough of what they want, but it was pretty funny to see that they both left behind what the other one wanted. And I think that's a kind of a cute part of their relationship, is that they know, like, oh, my friend likes this, so I'm gonna leave that for them. And yeah, it was just really cute to see, but definitely, without a doubt, kale is MooMoo's favorite food. Next is number 8. What is your pet's bad habit? Now, unlike Chewy Bear, who digs poop and litter everywhere and makes a big ol' mess, MooMoo doesn't really have any bad habits per se, because they're very natural for a rabbit. I guess if I had to answer this, she's very food aggressive. Like, she needs to be fed first, and she needs to eat what is hers. I've worked around this by feeding them separately, so in the morning I'll let her out first and feed her breakfast, and then Chewy Bear gets his. But yeah, I guess if I had to like list a bad habit, it's just that she's very food aggressive, and if she thinks that Chewy Bear has gotten something that she hasn't, she will chase him and try to nip his butt. But other than that, she's fantastic. She's really great. Nothing but praise for the Moo. Next up is number 9. What is the best thing about your pet? And to this I will say, honestly, we haven't had her that long, so I don't know for sure if this is the best thing about her. But my favorite thing about her so far is just like her sass. Like, she has such attitude, and like she's such like a, I don't know, this will come up in later questions, but we call her Queen because she's just like she is MooMoo Queen. She's so sassy and just, she's the best. She's so funny and like determined, and I don't know, it's so hard to like put into words, but like I'd have to say her sassiness is my favorite thing about her. Next up is actually kind of a hard one to answer. What is the naughtiest thing your pet has ever done? And fingers crossed, to date, MooMoo has not done anything that naughty, honestly. Whereas this fella back here, look at him, looks so innocent. He has destroyed hundreds of dollars of equipment with his little chompers, but MooMoo has not. She doesn't seem interested in that, so I'll take it. I'm glad I don't have an answer for this question. There is not a naughty thing that she has done to date. Fingers crossed that it stays that way. Next up is, what is the best memory involving your pet? And hands down, without a doubt, same as this guy back here, it is when we brought her home. She just was so comfortable. I don't know how to word it properly, but she just took to us like this is exactly what I said in my last video. She took to us like a fish to water. She was so comfortable. She flopped right away. There was a couple little skirmishes with like territory and dominance between them, but it honestly was not that bad. So just seeing her when I first met her in the play yard of the other rabbits, and she was sequestered like off by herself, she wasn't playing with anyone, and then to see her come here with him and they were snuggling together and kissing each other, and just how much more comfortable she seemed, I think that hands down is my best memory. Just bringing her home and how she instantly took to us as a member of our family was just absolutely the greatest thing in the world, and I couldn't have asked for a better bonding situation. With Moo, I'd have to say her grooming is the hardest thing about being her owner. She is a long-haired rabbit, and so she needs constant grooming, and she doesn't like to be groomed. She doesn't like to be handled a whole lot, which is pretty common for rabbits, but with her long hair, it can get matted and knotted very easily. And so I'd have to say that's the hardest thing about being her owner, because I want her to be comfortable. I want her to not have to be put in situations where she's uncomfortable, but at the same time, I don't want her to have like giant knots in her fur. So she's not the easiest to groom, and actually we take her back to where we got her, Rabbit Rescue. There's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful woman there named Audrey who does grooming. She volunteers, and so it's donation based. You go in, you take your rabbit, and she will groom them, and I call her the Rabbit Whisperer. She's amazing. She's absolutely incredible. And so we take MooMoo in there to get groomed every so often. She actually is due for a groom. So I do daily grooming as best I can, and then when she gets mats, what she does every so often, we'll take her into Audrey, and she'll get like a full-on spa day. But yeah, for MooMoo, I would say that grooming is the hardest part of being her owner. The most rewarding thing about being MooMoo's owner is the exact same thing I said about being Chewy's owner, and that is just getting to know them, getting to know her. She came from elsewhere. She was dropped off at a rescue from a family that could no longer take care of her, and we found her, Chewy found her, and we brought her into our house, and slowly over these months we've been getting to know her and her personality, and she's slowly coming out of her shell. I swear, hands down, that is the most rewarding thing about being a rabbit owner, especially because they are so hesitant to be themselves around humans because they are prey animals, so they're always afraid of like getting eaten and like going down. So just seeing her become herself with us and become more comfortable is absolutely, hands down, 100% the best thing about being her owner. Oh my gosh. This lighting is crazy. So I'm sorry guys. It's gonna change. I use the sunlight. I ain't fancy enough to like have lights in a studio and so I apologize. But you know, I think it's working. It's hard for me to tell. Well, if it looks like I'm sorry, next video will be better. Moving on. Next question is, does your pet have a nickname? And if so, what is it? Unlike the Chew, who has 1,001 nicknames, Moo has a few, I'd say 2, and it's just doubling up her name, MooMoo. And we also call her Queen because of her sass and her attitude. So a lot of the times we'll just go, MooMoo Queen! MooMoo Queen! I don't know, it's annoying. This lighting is out of control. Thanks, sun, for the side lighting. Is this my good side? I don't know. Hopefully it is. If it's not, you're welcome. No, MooMoo does not know any tricks as of yet. We are trying to teach her twist, just like her brother knows, and she's slowly coming along. Like I said earlier, she's very food aggressive, so if you like show her a treat and don't give it to her right away, she gets kind of pissed. Whereas Chewy Bear will use that as like a learning tool to like, he's like, okay, if I spin around like this, I'll get the treat. MooMoo's like, you're not giving me the treat, I'm gonna bite you. But she's slowly learning. She's actually done it a few times. And the next thing I wouldn't necessarily say is a trick. It's just something that she does. I don't know if it's a sign of dominance or a sign of affection, but she likes to climb on my back. So like when I'm in their cage, and like I said, and I think it was like maybe my first or second video, which I will link here, I have to get on my hands and knees and like pick up stray pieces of hay because I don't want my vacuum to explode. And while I'm doing that, she will come and jump and just chill on my back. I guess that's her quote-unquote trick. So yeah, those are all my questions, and before this lighting gets any more insane as the sun sets, I will end it here. I thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions about the rabbits, about me, whatever, leave them below. I will be sure to answer you. If you have any video suggestions, I'm always looking for new ideas. Leave those below as well. Subscribe if you're new, hit that bell notification so you are always notified when I upload, which is every Thursday. And I will see you guys next time.